a few hats in that I'm in business myself. I have SMEs. I'm also involved in the homeless community and housing, so I sort of know how all of this affects. But today in the Seanad I spoke about SMEs. And I spoke about, there was an article in the Irish Times last week, and it was some cafe owner. He was been interviewed, and his latte was €4.30. But he said the accountant broke it down, and he makes 18 cents on each latte. So he says the margins are so wafer thin, with increasing, as Senator Nelson Murray said, insurance, wages, rates. It's becoming unviable. And I have a cafe near Paul in County Kildare, and I literally closed it a few weeks ago, and it's been there since 1967. And I kept it going because of pride. The family had it there, it was on the family farm, and then I just thought, there's only so much you can subsidise in this. Were we busy? We were full every day. And it just wasn't making money. And so the perception out there is that you're making a lot of money out of this. So anybody, and I know your arrangement in Kill and Kildare and Ballymore, people say, oh, they're making a fortune. Look at the price of steaks. Yet when you break it down, the costs, the margins are very tight. So I will ask, first of all, to Éireann, just you welcome the 9% VAT rate, and in certain sectors, certainly my own, it wasn't enough to stabilise. So I'm just wondering, in the next 12 months, what is it looking like regarding closures? Are you expecting many?
Thanks very much, Senator, and thanks for your comments earlier on about SMEs. Yes, we are anticipating closures. There are businesses that will not survive, and that's because we have coming down headwinds in terms of energy. You know, what's happening in the Middle East, there's going to be a knock-on effect in terms of energy for the winter, but also in raw material and food product. Fertiliser prices will go up because 25% of ammonia that is part of fertiliser comes out of Qatar, and they've been affected and will be affected for 5 years. So the price of what the farmer is going to have to pay for fertiliser is going to have a knock-on effect for everybody else, and we'll have to take the brunt of that, taking it in from our suppliers in terms of food costs. So, you know, they're going to have headwinds there. We can see that our customers at the moment, two ECB rates, one already, another one forecasted, that will have an effect on our consumer confidence, and we are a luxury item. People don't have to go out and eat; they can eat at home. So, you know, that's going to have an effect as well. So Paul is an operator, and he'll talk to you about the specifics in terms of his business and what's going on.
So I'm just wondering then, what is the tipping point for small business, for the cafes, for the restaurants?
Specifically on wage costs is a tipping point at the moment.
And we all want people to be on fair wages. Correct. But the employers are absorbing
Correct.
those wages. And what I spoke about today is that the small businesses all around Ireland, whether that's your cafe, your hairdresser, they are the backbone of the community. So, for example, my business, we sponsored a large part of the Eadstown Field Day. We'll sponsor the under-10s in Tuman House or whatever. Yeah. The Pfizers, the Intels, the big FDI, which is vital for Ireland, but that's where all the supports seem to go. So the ordinary, the people that are the backbone, who are employing hundreds of thousands all around Ireland, I don't believe the supports are there.
So we acknowledge very clearly that there is a cost of living crisis for our staff, and our staff is the backbone of our industry. The 230,000 people that work in tourism and hospitality. But if you have a minimum wage increase that is above inflation, and it has been above inflation for the last number of years, that's out of kilter in terms of the viability of a business. So what we are saying very clearly, into the future, like what Belgium has done, is link your minimum wage increase to inflation, the CPI, Consumer Price Index. We cannot have this living wage coming in, because that will totally blow labour-intensive industries like retail, like hospitality, out of the water. We will not be able to afford it. And that's our very much, and that will tip the smaller businesses over the line. The larger businesses may be able to absorb it, but the small micro businesses, those that have 1 to 5 staff, 5 to 10 staff, they're going to be really
And even
affected.
today, Éireann, the announcement that the Dublin City Council are doubling the levies accommodation in Dublin. So in other words, if you were paying 2.5 million levies before, now you'll be paying 5 for the same event. So, and we're short of 15,000 hotel spaces in Dublin. So it's a big issue. I just want to go to Ger rather quickly, because the other hat that I wear, I'm in the transport business. I have removals, storage business, and that's been the bread and butter for years. But I know the toll bridge. I know how much it costs every time we go through it. I know the impact that has on us. I know driver shortages, and I know that now people who would have used your service before are hiring a van because it's gone cost prohibitive. So I'm just wondering, what's the single biggest pressure that you're finding is facing operators?
The biggest pressure facing operators is staff.
Is staff?
Is staff, yeah. Whether that be drivers, office staff, warehouse staff, even somebody to sweep the yard. That's the biggest problem. And the reason that there's not enough young people in Ireland able to get a licence in a timely manner. That's a huge problem. Also a huge problem is South African drivers coming in here taking between 9 months and a year before they have a permit to come. By the time you pay the money, you get the permit for them, you tell them that it's okay for them to come, they've got a job elsewhere in Europe. The €3,000 that you're after paying towards the permit, that's gone. You may start again with another from scratch. So, it's taken 2 years for a young person from the time they start here till they become a licensed driver here with a full truck licence. It's a nonsense. It really has to be fast-tracked, some way or another.
So I just want to ask then all of you, the Minister for Finance, Simon Harris, is preparing the budget. I'm just wondering, in each of your areas, what could he do to impact, and that's realistic, to impact your sectors?
We won't get time in each of your areas because it's 3 seconds. So
I'll be quick. Our budget submission is going in next week. We're looking for support on HVO.
Okay, that's fine.
For us, I guess, the most important thing would be to limit the increase in the 2027 minimum wage to inflation or lower.
Okay.
I mean, just for context, to your point, in the 4 years from January 22 to January 26, the minimum wage went up by 35% and general inflation was 17%. It was double the rate of inflation.
Okay. Same as wages. Vintners.
I said it for Senator Murray that they reduce the excise in whatever format to reduce so that you can make a decent gross profit. If you can make a decent gross profit, you should be able to run your business.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator McCarthy.